My husband Jack, my son, and I were vacationing in Paris. We were in a taxi coming back from the Eiffel Tower. When we entered the tunnel, we saw a couple of very formal, dark-looking cars, which I thought was odd because they were definitely parked. One was kind of on an angle, and then my eyes went to the crashed car. I then began to focus on blinding flashing lights and motorcycles. I couldn't distinguish a front end of the car. It was more like an accordion. I noticed that there was a woman in the car. There wasn't a single soul that we saw that was helping, assisting, doing anything. There were people who were taking picture after picture. The scene was unprotected, which blew my mind.
It was beyond anything I'd ever seen, the worst of humanity that one can envision. There were two policemen. They were jovial with each other, just another day at the office kind of thing. No concern. My son said, "How did the cops get here so fast?" That's a piece of the puzzle right there, too. Everything was pretty well coordinated. It leads me to believe that there was so much more going on than just an accident.
The next morning, I went to the concierge. I explained we saw a horrific car crash accident last night. And he looked at me and said, "Madame, didn't you hear who was in the car? It was the Princess Diana."
We're in total shock. That was a moment for me when I really realized that we have to tell this story to the police. No policeman under French jurisdiction wanted to talk to us. It's not just what I saw, which was tremendous as far as the position of the police and the paparazzi. It's police not reacting. The things that I would hear on television, inaccuracies that were beyond belief. They said that every witness was called back, and we knew that we weren't. It wasn't until CNN took us under their wing. They said, if you don't take the Firestone's deposition, watch CNN tonight, because we're gonna do an expose on how the French police are totally botching this investigation. And it was agreed, finally, we will take their deposition.
We ultimately found out that our deposition was disappeared for 10 years. The investigation was a sham.
There were these dark forces, commands given by somebody to do something. I don't think Diana's death was an accident.
Okay, before I talk to Jack and Robin, why do you think they were not talking to them? Why do you think the French police were wiring around them, Dylan?
Well, from day one, the French police did not take this investigation as serious as you would expect American law enforcement or law enforcement all around the world would. And the Firestones are an example of how botched this particular probe was.
So thank you both for being here. Take me through the moment that you were there.
We were in a taxi cab coming back from the Eiffel Tower, and there was just lights everywhere. It was blinding lights where almost like your eyes start to flash. The car had clearly flipped and turned. The front end was like an accordion. It didn't resemble a car to me. I couldn't figure out how the car was in the same direction as us. The police officer that was there starts to get into a bit of a pushing match with one of the paparazzi. While that was taking place, another paparazzi ran around the police officer and the one that they were having a bit of an encounter with, and wedged himself between the front of what was left of the car and put his camera and was taking pictures. There was no windshield, but just shooting relentlessly in the car.